Hello and welcome to this video showing how to repair a Smith's classic car clock using the Clocks for Classics repair kit. We're going to demonstrate this repair using an XK120 car clock, and this is typical of the type of clock that you might want to repair using this repair kit. So the first thing we're going to want to do is to remove the case from the clock to expose the mechanism. Now, different clocks use different methods to secure the case, but in this example, if we turn the clock around, we can see that the case is actually secured using 4 screws at the back of the clock. On the back there's one screw that has a shorting link, a small shorting link attached to it, and what we need to do is first of all remove the screw from that shorting link. And we remove that screw and then just flip the shorting link to one side under the screw there that's holding it to the case, and flip it to one side so that we can so it's out of the way and we can get to the other screws. Once we've done that, we go on and remove the 4 screws holding the case on, and you'll see that in this instance there's a metal washer behind each screw and also a rubber insulating washer. So we just remove both of those and put them to one side, and then we go on to remove the other screws that retain the case. And once those have been removed, we also have to take off the screw which holds the connection post. You can see that being removed there, and once we've put those parts to one side, then we can remove the case, and in this instance it just slides away from the movement, and now we can see the movement exposed. And the first thing we want to do is pull off the back plate, and that's just a simple pull away item. And once we've done that, we want to remove the solenoid, which is that item covered with green tape you can see there. In fact, before we remove the solenoid, we just need to cut these 2 black wires, and we're going to do that now, and we cut them just as close as we can to the point where they're secured to the clock. So you can see those being snipped now, and once those wires have been snipped, then we can undo the 2 brass pillars that secure the solenoid. They usually come away quite easily. And once those pillars have been removed, then we can just wiggle the solenoid itself free. Now, something you do need to be careful of with the solenoid is not to place too much stress on the wires that come out of the solenoid, because it is possible to break the internal connections. And what I recommend is that once you've removed the solenoid, you place a small blob of glue around the wires just at the point where they enter the body of the solenoid, and that will prevent the wires from becoming stressed. And if you do that now and put the solenoid to one side, then the glue will be set ready for when you come to reassemble the clock. Once the solenoid has been removed, we can undo the other 2 brass nuts which secure the bridge piece which holds the balance wheel in place. You can see those nuts being removed now, and then the bridge piece and the balance wheel can be eased away, and this has to be done quite carefully so as not to damage the hairspring which sits between the balance wheel and the bridge piece. And there you can see that's been removed as one assembly and put onto one side. And then the next item to remove is the small green plastic insulating piece, and that's removed from the connector pillar. So now we move to the front of the clock and we want to remove the dial plate, and that's secured with 4 small screws. You need a small jeweler's screwdriver for this, and a pair of tweezers is also useful to handle the screws. If these screws are too tight, then the best thing to do is just soak them for a little while in some cellulose thinners, as it's usually varnish around them that makes them difficult to remove. Once they've been removed, the dial plate can be pulled away there, and then there's a small gear which you can also remove. So we're now going to move on to remove the contacts, and we start by undoing this screw on the base plate and removing that, and then we turn the mechanism over and we undo the screw that retains the connector post. And once that screw's been removed, the connector post can be pulled away, and underneath it there's the connector post, and underneath it you see a small collar which that's actually not needed. Again, we can put that to one side, and then there's the contacts themselves, and again they won't be needed again, they'll be replaced by the repair kit. And finally there's a pillar that we remove here. That's a pillar and an insulating washer, and you'll see the pillars covered as well with a black insulating sleeve. Now finally we're going to remove these transverse gears. This is not strictly necessary, but it's useful if they're dirty and they need cleaning. So they're held in place with this brass bearing plate that you can see, and that's held in place with a single screw which we remove. Then we can just wiggle the plate free gently with a pair of tweezers, and there you can see the plate and the gears coming free. Well, that completes the disassembly of the clock, and I hope you'll be joining us for the second video, which shows how we reassemble the clock and also covers the fitting of the Clocks for Classics repair kit.